What is up, everybody? Welcome into this Tuesday episode of Flippin Bats. We got a great one today. A lot of good stuff. One up, one down. Somebody or some team that's on the up, and same on the down. We also have Name That Team rotation edition coming. Twitter questions as well as Honesty Hour. I got something this week. We're hopping in the trust tree, and I got something that needs to change, and I think you all might agree. Or maybe not. I honestly don't know. But we're going to see. This one's going to be fun. Let's get to it.
It's a blowout. 8th inning, 10-3. Bases are loaded for Verlander, who waits on a 3-0 pitch. He swings, and it's a high fly ball. Deep center field. It is gone. Home run. And a huge bat flip to celebrate. All right, Ben, start the show already.
Happy Tuesday, everybody. This is the first of two Tuesday episodes. Obviously, we have This Week in Shohei Ohtani news that comes out later in the day on Tuesday. But big day today. We got Phillies Mets starting today.
Ooh, that's
Alex.
a big family matchup for you. Because I don't know if people know. Obviously, they know that your brother pitches on the Mets, but you're friends with the owner of the Phillies. And
Yes.
You guys are extremely close. So this is almost like a family series matchup.
It's going to be a fun series. Obviously, Justin's the closest of those relationships.
But he's not pitching in this series. As of the probables.
True, yes.
Probables is not pitching.
Yeah, I'm good friends with the younger John Middleton, the son of John Middleton. So, yeah, the World Series was an interesting matchup this year, obviously, or this past year, but it's going to be a fun matchup. Very big for both of these teams in the division. Phillies trying to figure it out, looked like they might be heading in the right direction. Mets looked like they had turned that corner, but now they're just kind of floating. Like, what are they? They lose the series to the Rockies. So, big series for both of those teams for sure. Alex, it's also, I don't know if you listened to it.
Yeah, I got to tell you this. Congratulations on, it was really kind of a full circle moment, your interview with Kasumba that came out yesterday. Again, a two-day episode day. It was so emotional and really puts life into perspective. Hearing the stories of what he has to go through and what he has to endure just to find food every single day, to have enough energy to be able to work out, to play baseball is crazy.
It was definitely so. Yesterday there was a special edition of Flippin Bats with Kasumba Dennis, the 18-year-old catcher from Uganda, and if you have not yet listened to that, please do so. It was definitely the most powerful, emotional interview I've done with Flippin Bats, and it was truly very special. And as you mentioned, it really puts things into perspective. You know, talking about going to baseball practices without eating any food on an empty stomach and getting turned home because he hasn't eaten that day. But him being him, he goes home and works on baseball on his own. He's like, I can't go to practice? Fine, I'll work out on my own right. But he's coming over to the United States now for the MLB Draft League. We talked all about that, how he got into baseball, those stories he told. It was truly a special conversation to be able to have.
If there's one thing you want people to take away from that conversation, what is it?
I think, like you said, Alex, it puts things into perspective. It truly does. And we might hear his conversation and say, wow, that's really tough for him to be able to do that. And it is, obviously, but he doesn't view it as like a, oh, woe is me sort of situation. For him, it's, all right, I'm gonna put my hat on and go work as hard as I possibly can because my dream is to make it to Major League Baseball, and I'm not going to stop until that happens. And even then, I'm not going to stop. And he mentions that many times. Well, the reason I work so hard is, one, for his grandma, which he mentioned multiple times, and told that story with her. And two, he wants to be a major leaguer. So like you said, what I learned from that is it really puts things into perspective. And he is one of the hardest workers you will ever find. So he is somebody that we should all be rooting for as he comes over to the United States for the first time in his life to participate in the MLB Draft League.
And huge shout out to the Flippin Bats community for doing your part of just getting his story out there, sharing it, retweeting it, everything we could do to help kind of raise awareness and media awareness around this situation to get him here. So That's a real good feel-good story. I'm so excited. I want to meet him in person one day. It's going to happen.
So we're going to keep talking to him throughout this whole process. Yeah. And I'm excited. I'm excited for everybody to hear his journey throughout the entire way. So he is over here in the United States as of right now. He just got here, and the MLB Draft League is about to get underway, and Kasumba Dennis will be a part of it.
Well, let's stay on the up, right? So let's get to our one up, one down this week, and it can be either.
I'm excited.
You're excited. Okay, I was like, what did I say?
No.
You gave me a look like, did I just say something wrong? Do I have something on my face? Okay.
You were right, because we're going to stay on the up.
We're going to stay on the up.
And I'm going to talk about the Detroit Tigers.
Oh, of course.
The Motor City Kitties. They're hot. They're rolling. 2 series last week, both against division rivals. You got the Kansas City Royals. You got the Chicago White Sox in a 4-game series. They win 3 of 4 in that series. They win 2 of 3 against the Royals. And don't look now, the Detroit Tigers are 1 game entering the new week, 1 game out of first place in the AL Central.
Whoa.
1 game. Now, spare me with the, well, it's not a great division conversation. I don't care. I don't care. You play the cards you're dealt. The Tigers are right around 500. They're playing good baseball. They've kind of rebounded from a slow start to the season, and now they've been playing really good. They're getting production from everybody. There's not one person that's sticking out that you can say this person is carrying the Detroit Tigers. Fun fact, the Tampa Bay Rays have 11 hitters with more home runs than any single Detroit Tigers player. Also a fun fact, I don't care at all. The Tigers are winning. I'm happy for my former organization. I am pumped for them. Torkelson, Green, Riley Green making insane catches out in center field. Torque getting some big hits. I'm rocking a Spencer Torkelson shirt right now. I'm happy for the Tigers. They are my one-up, and the fans are coming back to Comerica Park. This is what the Tigers have needed for years. This has been missing. And I will admit, I thought about a year ago, I thought now is when the Tigers are going to turn a corner. They have A.J. Hinch leading the way. The young guys are starting to come up. No, but it appears that time might be now. And am I saying they're going to make the playoffs? I am not. But as of right now, they're a game back. They have the potential to, and they're a fun team to watch, and they're doing it without a lot of their good pitchers. Tarek Skubal being out. It's just fun. It's fun watching the Tigers be good again. I've needed this in my life, and now I can turn on Tigers games and watch a competitive, fun baseball team. They are my one-up.
Can I just say it is crazy, though, that they are 1 game out of first place, and they are still under 500?
Yeah, you can say it, but I'm not going to be happy about it.
Yeah,
it's not a good division.
I know.
But like I said,
the entire
I don't care.
AL East is better than the
But they're not in the AL East. That's the beauty of it.
You play the hand you're dealt.
You play the hand
you're dealt. And they're in 2nd
dealt.
place. I am happy for you. They needed this. Good for you and your Tigers.
You know, every other team in the division is maybe not doing great because they have to play the juggernaut Detroit Tigers.
Oh.
You know? Maybe that's why the division's not great.
All right.
Yeah. One up Detroit Tigers. I'm excited for them. Things are going well. And that's my one up. What's your one up?
My one up are the New York Yankees. Yeah, they're 7-3 in their last 10 games, but more impressive part of this whole situation is how good they've been since Aaron Judge has come back. He has literally taken this team, and the moment he came back on May 9th, has turned it around. They are 13-6 as of Monday afternoon since Judge has been back. And Judge alone is back to his MVP form since returning. He leads all of Major League Baseball since returning in runs scored, RBI. He's 2nd in extra base hits, 2nd in OPS, and is just on a roll. Sunday, we saw him hit a home run and then rob a home run. And then last week, you had Garrett Cole, who just reached the 2,000 strikeout mark, becoming just the 87th pitcher in MLB history to hit that mark, the 8th Yankee to do so. Yankees are rolling right now. They're in a tough division, a little bit different from your Tigers division.
Well, I don't like the Tiger slander whatsoever.
You brought it on. You go... I know it's not a great division.
I said spare me with that, and all you're doing is hitting me with that.
Nah.
Unbelievable.
So, yeah, Yankees are my up this week.
Yep. That's good. That's fair.
All right. Switching gears.
Yeah, one down.
Who's your down?
Alek Manoah. Toronto Blue Jays starting pitcher Alek Manoah. And the year has been underwhelming, to say the least, right? He's sitting at 1-5 on the year with a 5.53 ERA. He was a Cy Young favorite to start the season. So I've been waiting to do this because I didn't want to do this, to be honest with you. And then I wanted to figure out why. Why is this happening? Why is Alek Manoah not doing very well? What could it be? Well, I think it's a couple things. One, mechanical. There's got to be something going on. Alek Manoah last year walked 51 batters. Okay? 51 batters in 196 2/3 innings. This year, he has 32 walks in 45 innings. I mean, that's on pace for about 100 walks, whereas last year he had 51. So mechanically, something has to be off there. His off speed, his slider, that's been his pitch in his career, has not looked very good. I also have to believe there's some mental things going on here where, it just looks like he's got great stuff typically. A good fastball, great slider, and it looks like so far this year he's understanding that he's getting hit a little bit more or walking guys, so he's being more careful than he needs to be, which when you have the stuff he has, pitch with it. Make people hit you, and we're seeing these walk numbers go through the roof as to what they normally are. So I think we're seeing some mechanical issues with Alek Manoah as well as some mental struggles going on here. There are some big confidence issues, I think. I don't know what the answer is. I'm not paid to be the one to have those answers, but I don't think it's the worst thing in the world to maybe skip a start. Let him throw a simulated game. I don't know. I don't think sending a guy down to the minor leagues is the option, but Roy Halladay was sent down into the minor leagues in his second year in the big leagues. I mean, man, it's tough.
So one thing I've seen teams do, and it's not publicly known.
Phantom IL.
Well, yeah, it's called the mental IL. So it's phantom, mental. You say there's some injury, but you're not specific on it. So you give them that 10 days to just kind of reset, figure it out, and then hopefully come back and reset. So it sounds like, that's kind of what he needs to do.
I mean, that's what, put him on
it's
the
what
IL with
needs to do.
Arm fatigue.
Yeah.
But yeah, to your point, that happens all the time.
All the time.
Phantom IL is what we called it in the minor.
Thing.
You would have guys get put on the IL, and it's just what's happening? And we'd literally just be told it's the Phantom IL. You're fine. We need a spot. And, it happens. It happens in the big leagues.
Yeah.
Quite often, more than we know. If you see injuries that you're like, I didn't know that.
It's probably a mental.
Obviously, sometimes there's of course we don't know everything, but there are times where it's sometimes people just need a mental blow, and that needs to be okay. It certainly is okay.
Mental break.
But I don't know the answer. Skip a start, let him build back his confidence somehow, some way. But it's just been a struggle. 5.53 ERA onto the year. A third of the we're a third through the season, so tough start for him. Not even start anymore. Remember, I said I'm done saying start.
It's not
the
start.
It's a tough season.
Yeah, we're in it.
Yep,
we're in it.
All right, what is your one down?
Well, Ben, I hate to kick someone, an organization, a team while they're down, but I have to do it. The Oakland A's. They've lost 11 in a row. 10-45 on the season as of Monday. The A's are off to the worst start since 1932. They are on pace for a 30-132 record. That would be 13 wins less than the 2003 Tigers, who currently hold the record for fewest wins in a single season. The only reason they are in the news right now, nothing to do with their game, nothing to do with how they're playing. They are in the news because we are talking about their potential new stadium in Vegas. And at this point, if that is the only thing that is keeping your name in the headlines, there is a big problem. And I know we keep talking about it, and I know we keep breaking it down, but 11 straight losses. Something needs to change. I'm down. Yeah. I'm down on Oakland.
I got nothing. I told you I'm done talking about them. I'm done.
I wasn't.
I am done talking about the Oakland A's.
I wasn't.
It's embarrassing.
It's embarrassing.
They need to. I'm done.
Yeah. All right.
But I agree. I agree.
I agree. You can't not have them be a down.
Yeah.
11 in a row.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's keep things honest here. Ben,
Right.
It's honesty hour time.
It is. Let's get in the trust tree.
Okay.
It's time. I have a good one this week.
Ready?
I think. I'm interested to see what you think about this.
Okay.
We need to get rid of the dropped third strike rule.
Ooh.
Get rid of it.
Okay.
Done. Now, let me tell you why now is the time for me to bring this up in Honesty Hour. There was a play over the weekend in a high school title game where the pitcher struck out the batter and the umpire rings him up, calls him out, and then apparently it hit the dirt. Runner takes off. The team, it was the last out of the championship game. The team is dogpiling on the field while the batter is running all the way around the bases. Nobody knows what's going on. The run comes and touches home. The umpire's like, well, I said it dropped in the dirt. Then the other team starts celebrating, all because the batter was called out, and then it turned out it was a drop third strike rule, and he comes all the way around, and that's how this title game ended. Madness, chaos, absolute chaos. Okay? So that's the reason for this. Now, here's why I'm saying we got to get rid of it. Get rid of the rule. If a pitcher throws a pitch that is so nasty that the batter swings at it and strikes out, the batter should be out.
You're putting so much pressure on the catcher. Like, the pitcher did his job. The catcher did his job, calling what pitch for him to throw. He throws it, fools the batter, and now you're going to punish the team because the catcher couldn't catch it even if it had enough movement on it.
Because it was so disgusting that even the catcher couldn't catch it.
It doesn't make sense.
So you know what I think? You know what I think is fair? Moving the runners that are on base can certainly move up if the ball gets past. But the batter that swung and missed and swung at a third strike, it shouldn't be rewarded with a base because he struck out. But, oh, the catcher couldn't catch it, so I'm going to run. Well, you couldn't hit it.
Oh, you're saying like they could steal, like they can still like go, like, or that you automatically move them? Because what if bases are loaded and they strike out? You're bringing someone home?
Well, the rule,
yeah.
If the ball drops on the third strike, as long as there's less than 2 outs or nobody on first base, you can run to first base.
Yes.
Obviously. I'm saying that should not be the case. You should just be out.
Yeah.
The runners that are on base, I'm saying, can certainly move, obviously, but the runners shouldn't get to also take off for first base if there's nobody on first or there's two. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. So it ruins Justin's 3,000th strikeout. 3,000. Only a few pitchers in the history of baseball. The runner ended up on first base.
And then it doesn't count as a strikeout?
It counts as a strikeout.
Okay.
But the runner gets on first base. It ruins the moment. I mean, sure, it's 3,000 strikeouts and it's very cool, but the ball gets past the catcher. The pitch was nasty. The runner takes off to first base. He ends up on first. And then Justin, like, hat tips to the crowd, but it's kind of like, well, the guy ended up on first base. It's It's so frustrating. So I did some diving here.
Okay.
Why this is a rule? Because it's like, this is one of the.
What happened? How did it come about?
This is a great question.
Okay.
It's a great question, and I needed to answer. It's one of the old baseball rules that we just never got rid of. This rule was implemented in 1845.
No.
Listen to this. This is actually crazy. The rule was implemented in 1845 to mitigate catchers intentionally dropping the last pitch to initiate what would be declared as a double play by the way the rules were set up. Now, to make sense of this, you have to go back even further before a catcher was actually even put back behind the plate. Pitchers before 1845 were right in front of home plate and would lob the ball up into the air. So there was no need for a catcher back behind the plate. By 1845, the pitchers had moved back towards like a more traditional, what we know as a pitcher, had moved back and were able to throw the ball more horizontal instead of just lobbing it up in the air. So to counteract this, some batters were just taking the more horizontal pitch for a third strike, intentionally striking out and running to first base. So to mitigate that, they came up with this rule of, well, yeah, you have to, that's how a catcher got put back there, all of this. It came about in 1845. 1845 to mitigate all of these rules happening and kind of trying to figure out how to evade the rules and end up on first base. So to mitigate that, they put this rule into place. Why is it still a rule?
It shouldn't be.
You know what else was a rule back in the day? Back at this time? I'm going to read some of these rules, Alex. I'm going to read some of the rules that were in place right around this time. Batters had the right to request a low or a high pitch from 1867 to 1887.
Oh, no.
You could walk up to the plate and say, I want a high pitch or I want a low pitch. Yep, that was after this rule was put in place. Fly balls could be caught off of a bounce until 1864. 1864.
Wait, so it could bounce and catch it and you'd still be out?
Yep, one bounce. Foul balls, in fact, until 1883. Pitchers were required to throw underhand until 1883. That was a rule still in place
softball.
after
this. It was
this
like
rule.
a softball pitcher.
The spitball was allowed until 1920, but pitchers who had been throwing it for years were grandfathered in even after 1920. Ground rule doubles were actually home runs until 1930.
What?
But the drop third strike rule is the one we want to keep? It makes no sense. Get rid of it. It's just still a thing because we never changed it.
Yeah.
Change it.
Yeah.
If a batter swings
It's
and
time.
misses at a pitch that was so nasty that the catcher couldn't even catch it, he shouldn't be rewarded with a base.
No.
Honesty hour. We're in the trust tree. Get rid of the rule. Get rid of the drop third strike rule.
Yeah. The batter did nothing. He failed.
Yeah.
You're out. You should not. It makes no sense.
I've always thought
when you break it down that way, it makes no sense.
I used to think of this back when I was in high school because we had like a really, like when you'd play at fields with really long backstops. I always thought about this. Like, what if a pitcher throws a pitch like way high or a curveball like fastball behind me accidentally? I should just swing with 2 strikes. Next thing you know, I'm on base. Like it's ridiculous. It's as bad as these other rules.
It is.
People are gonna see these rules, and the year is 2,985, and they're gonna read these rules, and it's gonna say the spitball was allowed until 1920, and then it's gonna say the drop third strike was allowed until 2025. That can't be right. Nope, it sure is. Sure is. It's still a rule. Why?
We need to start a movement.
Yeah. Well,
Start a movement.
We're
change,
starting it.
Change the rule.
Yep, I agree.
Drop it.
I obviously.
I like
agree.
it.
Thank you.
I like this honesty
Great.
hour.
Okay.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. That was a nice one.
Thanks.
All right, let's play your favorite game.
Okay.
Name that team. We are still on starting rotations.
Is it my favorite? I feel a lot of pressure during this
Well,
game.
okay, because you didn't get them all last time, so now you're feeling pressure.
Well, especially like they're getting harder
Yeah.
as we, so.
I think it'll be okay.
Okay, let's
Ready?
do it. Yep.
Team number 1. UCLA.
Okay.
High school out of Florida. Dominican Republic. University of South Carolina. Name that team.
South Carolina, UCLA, high school out of Florida, Dominican, South Carolina. Oh, this is tough. I feel like I should know the UCLA answer, and I'm frustrated that I don't. UCLA, then high school out of Florida. South Carolina at 5. So I know Jordan Montgomery is South Carolina.
Under 30 to go.
Back-to-back Dominican guys at 3 and 4 in the rotation.
Let me know if you want to phone a friend. You have 10 seconds.
Okay. I'm going to guess.
Ace just hit a major milestone.
I'm going to guess the Royals.
Yankees.
Yankees?
Garrett Cole.
Oh, Garrett Cole.
Yeah.
I'm an idiot.
I even gave you some help.
I was thinking Greinke.
Oh.
And then Clark Schmidt. I did not know that.
Did I mess up who you
I
were
wasn't
going
to
to
get that. I know Garrett.
Oh.
I'm friends with Garrett. I don't know how this happened. I'm an idiot. I didn't know Nestor was a high school guy out of Florida.
Okay.
Severino.
Okay.
Sherman.
It's okay.
It's not. Okay.
Okay.
0 for 1.
Yep.
Tough.
Are you ready for team number 2?
Yeah.
All right. Team number 2, University of South Florida, high school out of California, high school out of Florida, Webster University, and high school out of Georgia.
Webster and
Name
USF
that team.
are my 2 colleges
Good
I get, and then
luck.
it's all high school guys?
Good luck.
What?
Yeah.
USF and Webster are my
Yep.
2 colleges. Then 3 high school guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. What are you gonna go with?
I think
30
I'm
seconds.
gonna be wrong.
Okay.
But my guess is going to be the Tampa Bay Rays.
Yeah.
Oh! Woo!
You needed that.
Wow.
I could feel your energy. You needed that.
Man. Okay. I
Yeah?
really needed that.
I know.
I knew Glasnow was high school California.
Okay.
Wasn't sure about McClanahan, but
Okay.
I thought he was at not like a super major college.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good work. Good
Yeah.
work.
Thank you.
All right, even 500. Ready for team
1
number
for
3?
Yeah.
Okay.
1 for 2, that is.
Team number 3.
Mhm.
Dominican Republic. High school out of, is that Alabama?
Alabama.
Yep. High school out of Florida. Dominican Republic. Dominican Republic. Name that team.
3 Dominican guys in the rotation with 2 high school guys in the
Yeah.
middle. Dominican ace. A Dominican ace. Okay, the Mariners are coming to mind, maybe. Mariners.
30 seconds left.
Wow. 3 Dominican
Uh-huh.
and 2 high school. Yeah, I'll guess the Mariners.
Miami.
Miami.
Yeah.
Sandy, Edward Cabrera, Yuri Perez. Jesus Luzardo was high school out of Florida? I did not know that. Braxton Garrett. Oh, these are getting tougher, and I'm going 1 for 3 in a lot of them.
I know.
I mean, this is tough. I think we've almost gone all the teams, and
Almost. Does
Oh,
that
man.
run through your mind too? Like, I've already guessed this team. I've already guessed
Yeah,
that team.
yeah.
Is that gone too?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I'm like, I think we've done that team, but I'm not sure. Like
I think that every single time. I'm like, I swear we've done this team. And
No,
I'm like,
we
oh
haven't.
yeah, we also did like
the Mariners.
infield.
The Mariners. I was thinking, I think we've done that team,
Yeah.
but I'm not sure. And then I had like Luis Castillo in mind and couldn't get. Once I get a team in
I
my
know,
head,
then you can't get it out. Then you're
oh, it's
questioning.
so hard to get them out of my head.
It's okay.
All right, 1
All
for
right.
3.
Yeah.
C plus.
C minus.
Plus.
Minus.
They're hard teams. You got a bell
Cool.
curve, remember?
All right.
Okay.
All right, we're going to wrap things up with some fan questions.
Okay.
You ready for this?
Yeah.
First one comes from Savannah.
Okay.
Why does it seem like young pitching prospects are taught to be the starters in the minors when bullpen help seems to be an issue with most major league teams, or how does that work?
That's a good question. And the answer to it is that starters are more valuable than closers or relievers. And that's just the cold hard truth. Look at the money that these pitchers are getting. Look how much more starters get paid compared to relievers. So if you have a stud arm, you would rather that pitcher be a starter for you for a long time and get you 6-7 innings as opposed to being a reliever. Now, where you do have guys shift to that reliever option is when you have guys that have really electric stuff, but maybe start running out of gas later into a start. Or sometimes it just happens, like they go through a tough spell and then you bring them in out of the bullpen and they're dominant for an inning. And then next thing it's like, well, maybe this guy could be a good closer. Look at Aroldis Chapman and the career he's had. Aroldis Chapman was a starter for the Cincinnati Reds. And then we saw his velo start to drop beginning of games. He's throwing 102. And then it's like, well, that would work well out of a closer, So it kind of depends. It's a feel situation out of organizations, but by and large, you'd rather your guys come in as starters, and then you just adjust in the minor leagues typically. But for example, the guy we just saw get called up for the Angels, guy out of Tennessee, Ben Joyce, he's been a reliever. He throws 105 miles an hour. He was a reliever in college, and now he comes over in professional baseball, and he's still a reliever. Some guys just come in as relievers, but it's not very often it happens. Typically, like the elite schools will have closers that get drafted, but for the most part, organizations want you to be a starter because simply they're just more valuable.
And then sometimes it's good to have that middle long relief guy if you're coming up from the minors too.
Yep.
All right.
That's a good question.
Yeah, great question. Next question comes from Nick. Ben, do you ever miss being in West Michigan?
I loved West Michigan. I made a lot of stops in my professional baseball career. Norwich, Connecticut, Grand Rapids, Michigan, Lakeland, Florida, and West Michigan was by far my favorite. Just awesome. The Grand Rapids community rallying around the Whitecaps. The stadium was beautiful. I was actually there in the year, the season after there was a fire at the stadium, and like half of the stadium burned down.
Whoa.
So it was like a big community effort, and it was like emotional there. And my first home game, opening day at home for the Whitecaps, was like the first day back. And I remember the emotion being there. And I was walking in from warming up to get ready to head into the dugout. And I got like pulled over by the news to be interviewed like right before the game. And the emotion like in the reporter's voice and like the crowd, like it was just so special. And being there was awesome. It was definitely a highlight of my career. You know, the weather gets nicer in Grand Rapids into the season. You're getting 12,000 fans a night. And it was special. It was really, really cool. I loved Grand Rapids, and I certainly miss it.
Love that for you.
Yeah.
All right, final one. This one comes from Jay Hernandez. Ben, who makes it to another World Series first? Yankees or Mets? And do you think we'll see them head-to-head in a World Series in the next 7 years? Thanks. Love the podcast.
Who makes it to a World Series first?
Yeah, Yankees or Mets? You might piss off a lot of New York people here.
I'm going to piss off some people, but I was given a question, and I'm going to answer it. I'm going to take the Mets.
Oh, okay.
And I'm going to take the Mets because of Steve Cohen. Yeah. I don't think Steve Cohen is stopped. Steve Cohen is now what the Yankees were in the 90s and early 2000s.
Yep.
You know, the Steinbrenners of it's now Steve Cohen.
Yep.
Steve Cohen has the money in New York, and he's willing to spend it to get a championship. That's all he cares about. That's what he wants. This is his passion project. He and his wife love the New York Mets, and they have the money to buy the New York Mets, and they want a championship, and he's willing to spend that money to do it. And as of right now, you know, what I've seen from the Yankees in the past decade plus is a team that is good and gets into the playoffs and is not as good as the best team in the league. They have not been able to jump the hurdle of the Houston Astros in a long time. And I just think Steve Cohen isn't going to stop spending money until they get to the World Series, until they win a World Series. And the second part of the question, was it 7 years?
Do you think we'll see them head-to-head in a World Series in the next 7 years?
Why 7 years? That feels like I would love to know why 7 years is the number you pulled out. But I'm going to say.
How long is Aaron Judge's contract?
Like a decade.
Okay.
Right?
I don't.
Like 8 years,
top of my head.
Maybe 8 to 10. I don't think it's 7 years. Is it 7?
I don't know.
But that'd be interesting if that was. I'm gonna say yes.
8 years.
8.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say we get a Subway Series in the next 7 years.
Ooh.
I think the Yankees, if the Yankees don't get there for another 7 years, it's
bad.
been over a decade. It's currently really bad.
Yeah.
I grew up with the Yankees. I grew up in my teenage years, the Yankees not making it and people still clamoring on about 27 wins. Well, now there's people that are alive that are Yankees fans that haven't seen a single one. Like, stop with the 27 rings talk because a lot of people haven't seen one.
Mm-hmm.
You're the New York,
living in the past, man.
You're the New York Yankees. You gotta get back.
You do.
You gotta get back. You remember last year when they didn't make it and ownership was like, well, we were close.
We were how many games short?
4. You
4
got
games
swept.
Short. No, that's a bad rebrand right there. That's not the Yankee way of a rebrand.
That's not the Yankees I know.
What I want to see is how pissed off LeBron was after he got swept in the Western Conference Final and said, this isn't fun for me. If I'm not in the championship, this isn't fun. That's the same kind of attitude that the Yankees should have. Not, we were 4 games short. It's like, no, buddy. You lost.
Before we finish, I must say, because you brought it up, I'm not the biggest basketball guy in the world.
Yep.
But I know what's happening around the league, and the sweep. I think LeBron just pulled retirement out to get the attention off of a sweep. I don't think there is much account.
He owns a media company. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, but to your point, it's like
he's keeping his name in the conversation.
How you saw how pissed LeBron is. He just said he was going to retire to get all the attention off of getting swept.
He just said he has to think about his future in basketball. That's
but
fair.
He knows what he's doing. He's
of
brilliant.
Of course he does.
Of course he knows. The
He's
second he says
mogul.
that, people are going to go from,
Genius.
wow, the attention, the Lakers got swept, to the attention being, is LeBron done? What is his legacy?
Smart.
When the attention shouldn't be on either of those. It should be on the
narrative.
Denver Nuggets and how good they were. Boom. Done. We're done. Great show. 1 of 2. We have This Week in Ohtani news coming up. If you're listening in the morning, that releases Tuesday afternoon. And if you're listening in the afternoon, guess what? It's out already. And again, I'll mention it one more time because it is worth mentioning. If you have not yet listened to the Kasumba Dennis interview, that was a special edition of Flippin Bats that came out on Monday. Please do so. What a special thing to do and to be able to have, and his journey is awesome. So everybody, make sure you check that out. Thank you for listening to this first Tuesday episode. Make sure you like, subscribe anywhere you listen to your podcast. Hit that subscribe button. It is free to do so. It's also free to follow on all social media: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and you can watch every single thing on YouTube as well at Flippin Bats Pod for all of them. That does it for this episode. Until next time, my friends,